Imagine standing on a vast African plain millions of years ago. The air is thick with the smell of wet earth after a rain. In the distance, a small group of creatures moves carefully through the tall grass. They walk upright, yet their faces are more ape-like than human. These are not people as we know them, but they are our ancestors, the very first chapter of our story. This is the journey of human evolution, a tale that stretches back over 7 million years, a journey that shaped not only our bodies but also our minds, our societies, and the very way we see the world. Our earliest ancestors were small, tree-dwelling primates who lived in warm, dense forests. They climbed for safety, ate fruits and leaves, and rarely walked on the ground. But the earth was changing. Forests began to shrink, replaced by open grasslands. To survive, some of these primates adapted to life on the ground. Slowly, they began to walk on two legs. It was an awkward, clumsy beginning, but this small change would become the foundation for everything that followed. 4 million years ago, a species known as Australopithecus walked the African plains. One of the most famous, nicknamed Lucy, stood just over 3 feet tall. She could still climb trees, but she also walked upright with surprising ease. Walking freed her hands, and free hands meant she could carry food, hold a child, or pick up a stone. Though she had no tools yet, the stage was set for a transformation that would change the course of history. By 2.5 million years ago, a new species emerged, Homo habilis, the handyman. They began shaping stones into sharp edges, creating the first tools. These tools meant better hunting, more efficient cutting of meat, and better protection from predators. But the real revolution was happening inside their heads. Their brains were growing. With bigger brains came better problem-solving and the first sparks of culture. Life was still harsh, but now they had an advantage no other creature on Earth possessed. Over hundreds of thousands of years, Homo habilis gave way to a taller, stronger species, Homo erectus. These were the first humans to truly master the art of survival. They hunted in coordinated groups, traveled great distances, and most importantly, learned to control fire. Imagine the scene, the glow of flames in the darkness, the crackle of wood, the warmth on a cold night. Fire meant safety. It meant cooked food, which released more nutrients and allowed brains to grow even larger. Around the fire, early humans likely began to share stories, plan hunts, and form deeper social bonds. The night was no longer an enemy. It had become a time of connection. Homo erectus was also the first to leave Africa, spreading across Asia and Europe. This was no small feat. It meant adapting to freezing winters, new landscapes, and unfamiliar predators. In these far-off lands, different human species evolved. In Europe, the Neanderthals developed stocky, muscular bodies to endure the cold. In Asia, the Denisovans thrived in high-altitude environments. For a time, several kinds of humans coexisted, each mastering their corner of the world. And then, around 300,000 years ago, a new species appeared in Africa, Homo sapiens, us. We weren't the strongest or the fastest, but we had something unique: imagination. We could think beyond the present moment. We painted images on cave walls, carved tools from bone and antler, and created jewelry from shells and stones. Our language became more complex, allowing us to pass on knowledge with precision. We could tell a hunter exactly where the herd was moving or teach a child how to make a bow. Our ability to cooperate on a massive scale set us apart from every other living thing. 70,000 years ago, Homo sapiens began the Great Migration. We walked out of Africa in waves, exploring and settling every corner of the globe. We crossed deserts, climbed mountains, and sailed across vast stretches of ocean in wooden boats. Along the way, we met other humans, Neanderthals, Denisovans, and sometimes we fought, but often we mixed. Today, traces of their DNA still live inside us, silent reminders of our shared past. Life was still far from easy. For most of our history, we lived as hunter-gatherers, moving with the seasons, following the animals, and foraging for plants. But about 10,000 years ago, everything changed. In the fertile valleys of the Middle East, people learned to plant seeds and domesticate animals. Farming meant food security, and food security meant we could settle in one place. Villages grew into towns and towns into cities. Writing was invented, allowing us to record stories, trade, and laws. Civilizations rose and fell: Egypt, Mesopotamia, the Indus Valley, China, each adding a new chapter to the human story. With time, our innovations accelerated. We learned to work metal, to harness the power of wind and water, to build ships that could cross entire oceans. Empires expanded, ideas spread, and human cultures became rich tapestries of language, art, and belief. In the blink of an evolutionary eye, we moved from stone tools to bronze swords, from chariots to trains, from steam engines to space rockets. And now, here we are, creatures who once huddled in caves, gazing at the fire, now gazing at the stars, sending probes beyond our solar system, building machines that can think, and unlocking the secrets of our own DNA. We are shaping not just our environment, but perhaps our very biology. The future of human evolution may not be driven by nature alone, but by technology, by choices we make about who we are and who we wish to become. Yet for all our achievements, one truth remains: we are still bound to the same story. Every face you see carries the legacy of millions of ancestors. Every heartbeat is the echo of survival against impossible odds. And every step we take is part of the same journey, a journey that began long before we were born and will continue long after we are gone. The journey of human evolution is not just a story of bones and artifacts. It's a story of curiosity, of resilience, of the deep need to understand and explore. It is the story of us. So the next time you look in the mirror, remember, you are not just you. You are the result of 7 million years of history. You are the dream of every ancestor who came before, and the hope of every generation yet to come. Our journey is far from over. In fact, in many ways, it is only just beginning.